So the Chief of Chaplain has two priorities, it's communities and people and communities. And also has, some LOEs, lines of efforts, and one of them is revitalization. And so what the religious affairs specialists and the chaplains can do to unit ministry teams within an organization is to establish religious programs for their commanders and present that commanders. This is ultimately the commander's responsibility to take care of the soldiers' their spirituality. And so what they have to do is use their imaginations and come up with ways to get soldiers involved within to build their spiritualities. And it comes with, the religious programs. Every year they, take some time and they say, what do our soldiers need in order to build their spirituality? So what they have to do is just to lay it out. This is what we need to do, and then present that to the commanders. It's called their Command Master Religious Program. So that way the commander understands what the needs are. There is strong bonds that they can go to. It's a different type of strong bonds than in the past, because it's more now the commander's responsibility to do is to identify soldiers that need to attend these events, and just to establish those and get the soldiers involved. There's things, prayer breakfast that they can do now. I mentioned earlier, Duty Day with God. Just find, back then, when Chaplain Soldier and I were coming up as battalions and unit ministry teams and brigades, we had, day rooms. And so we'd bring the soldiers into day rooms and just have some type of events like that. I know that some of the day rooms are no longer, in the barracks now, but there's other things we could get them involved. We have an event in a chapel. Bring them to the chapel. And that way now you got them to the chapel. Now you could tell them what are the different type of events that are going on within the chaplain, and they get them connected that way as well. So those are some of the things that the chaplains and religious affairs specialists can do, is get out of their office and go out there, be with the soldiers, let them know what type of events are going on within their battalions or within their organizations, and get them involved within the spiritual community.
Yeah, what Regimental was talking about is really what we call ministry of presence. Being out wherever soldiers and their families are and being among them and making those connections are very important. Now, on a personal level, I'm the beneficiary of a chaplain. As a young soldier, I was going through a very difficult time in my life, and it was a connection with an NCO who said, maybe you ought to go see the chaplain. I was having a lot of problems, and that chaplain really was instrumental in my life, and here I sit today. And really, it's a result of that relationship and that investment that the chaplain team made in me as a young soldier. So for me, it's very personal. I know firsthand what a chaplain can do in the life of a person, and the religious affairs specialist. And so the chaplains are there to provide counseling on anything from general life issues, just day-to-day stuff, if you will, to include challenges, finances, relationships, and even grief counseling. And the neat thing about the ministry team is both the religious affairs specialist and the chaplain, when you go see them, that is confidential communication. So you can tell them anything and you're going to be protected. It's kind of like your canopy. It's a safe place to go to express what you may not want to tell other people. And so that provides every one of us a tremendous opportunity. And then we have chaplains with special skills. So we have family life chaplains, we have hospital chaplains, who have advanced individual training and education to help soldiers and families. And as the Regimental mentioned, a myriad of opportunities. We really encourage our ministry teams to be creative, find ways to connect with soldiers. And so this generation may not connect in the same way, say, that our generation connected, but there's still a strong desire to want to have connections, meaningful connections with other people. So we got to build those bridges, get out there and be among the people and help them, in this particular case, stationed overseas, to build those kind of connections that will help them to thrive and have a wonderful experience serving abroad.